Say good morning to our YouTube audience.
Morning, YouTube.
This is the link in case anybody's interested in that, or if we all chip in together. Yeah.
Thank you.
Or if I ended up on Wednesdays, but I'm planning my summer spending on a bunch of other stuff too, so I'm not sure.
Alrighty, I'm going to turn on recording. We are live. How is everybody today? You're awfully quiet.
Hot.
It's hot.
It's
hot
a little
and
warm. Yeah, a
rehydrating.
little toasty.
Yeah.
Definitely warm outside.
It's also slow waking up when there's this much smoke in the air.
It wasn't too bad today.
Yeah, it's better today.
Do you guys still have a lot of fires out there?
Well, there's one in Arizona blowing into Albuquerque.
Yeah. So our neighbors have fires.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm from Denver, everybody. Is everybody else from Albuquerque? Anybody not from Albuquerque?
Albuquerque and Santa Fe, looks like.
Nice.
So far.
Who's our Santa Fean? Who do we have here? Anyone today?
Am I wrong?
Sometimes we get John Mertz and a couple other people out that way.
Paul, it's 9 o'clock. Do you want to
Yep.
kick us off?
Sure. Let's launch. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 1 Million Cups Albuquerque. We are caffeinating entrepreneurs nationwide. So unfortunately, because we're by Zoom, you have to have your own coffee, but I hope you do. And our mission is connection, presentation, and education for entrepreneurs. And let's go into how that works. So we want to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. So when you're an entrepreneur, it's sometimes hard to know where to get started. You might have had other experiences that aren't relevant to the entrepreneurial experience. And there's a lot of scrambling to find out connections and things you don't know that you don't know that you don't know. And so that's the function of Million Cups, is to make it easier for entrepreneurs. So our national and local mission is accomplished by creating a consistent program. So every place you go that has Million Cups, we have the same format. And the presenters and the organizers are trained by the Kauffman Foundation using their templates. And although the format is the same and the basic rules are the same wherever you go in the United States for Million Cups, each community is unique and has particular values. So we encourage people from outside Albuquerque to drop in, and we encourage our presenters to move on to other locations, which is especially easy these days when people are going virtual. In the Southwest, we're the only 1 Million Cups in New Mexico, but you can see there are quite a number of other locations in Texas and Oklahoma and Louisiana and Arkansas. So it's easy to travel physically or by Zoom to any of these other locations. And sometimes we have guests from these places to give talks here. So what are the pillars of 1 Million Cups? Presentations, not pitches. So most of you know the difference. In a pitch, your company has these fabulous prospects that are unhindered by anything but lack of money, and you have the perfect team and you've solved all your problems. You're just marking the days off on the calendar. But in a 1 Million Cups presentation, you're asking for help from the community. And so you can be a little more vulnerable. You can say, okay, these are our challenges. This is something we're looking for, whether it's people or connections to a resource or whatever. You can ask for help. And that's one of our required questions of presenters. And we strive for authentic connections, not just networking. So you don't just spin through the room when we're there physically handing out business cards and having 30-second interactions. You're trying to connect people that you can either help or that can help you. So it's run for the community, by the community. All of our all of our organizers are volunteers, and lots of people pitch in to make this thing work. We're radically and intentionally inclusive. That means we want all kinds of entrepreneurs, and we want entrepreneurs representing all kinds of different business models, whether that's a mom and pop business, a tech startup, or a larger company that's been around for a while that's going through a pivot. All of those people are welcome to give presentations. So it's easy to apply to present. If you have a for-profit business, you've been in, and generally if you've been in business less than 5 years, and you've sold something to someone who's not your mom, you're welcome to present at 1 Million Cups. So we will follow up by assigning you a coach and having some meetings with you to get you in shape to present to 1 Million Cups and reorient you from the pitch mode to the presentation mode. We have a great organizing team. I'm Paul Sauter, Chief Scientific Officer of Equiseek. Lisa and Sonia are our co-lead organizers, and Eric, Adam, and Bobsy make up the rest of the team. So if you're interested in presenting, any one of these people is a lot of fun to talk to, and they've all coached people into successful presentations. So please don't be shy about applying. I'm sure you have a story to tell. And I'm going to hand it off to Lisa to introduce our presenter.
Yeah, it looks like we have an old slide deck there.
Obviously,
Thanks, Paul. And I didn't coach the presenter, but Charles is not here. So Ian, we're going to let you introduce yourself. I know you're from Colorado, which is amazing. Thank you for applying to present here. But why don't you tell us who you are and tell us your story?
Sure, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm from Denver, Colorado, born and raised. I went to CU Boulder. I actually went to Air Force Academy for 2 years before I transferred out. So yeah, you know, I'm just building out this startup now. I'm a software consultant on the side, and we're getting going and about to release our product here soon. So we are going to be starting in the Denver area, but our goal is to be a nationwide product for everyone to connect with local service professionals. So I'll get into my presentation. You'll learn a little bit more, but I shared my information. If anybody wants to connect with me after this, definitely do so. I'd be glad to speak with anybody. So let's get into it. Can I go full screen? All right. So thank you again, everybody. Again, my name is Ian Imamura. I'm the founder and CEO of OneBook. I came up with this idea back in college when my cousin Jake was a plumber and we were actually living together. And so before I get into it, I do want to have these 3 asks from everybody. Will this product help you benefit you and your service pros, your service experts? Connect in an easier way. Also, what services do you guys have a difficult time getting help with? Do you have hard time scheduling with anybody, even finding people online for any of these services, anywhere from plumbing to pet grooming to barbers, literally any one-off services that you can think of? And then what problems do you see my business facing as we get up and going and as we scale? So again, back to my cousin Jake. He was a plumber when I was in college, and he came and moved out from California. We lived together, and he would complain all the time about being a plumber. Not just dealing with, you know, the shit in the world, but again, just dealing with the side of the service industry and dealing with customers. And as we lived at CU Boulder, he was driving to Denver and Parker, which is an hour away from where we lived. And so he was driving an hour out of his way to go and do a drain cleaning job, which usually takes just about 15 minutes. So it was just a really inefficient way for him to provide these services to his customers. And for his customers, they had to contact the company first. So really making those connections with his customers was impossible. You know, he was just getting called and sent to the job by his company, and that was it. And that relationship with their customer was pretty much extinct after that. He had no control over his jobs, and the company was telling him where to go, when to do it, and what to do. So I just thought it would be a lot easier, you know, for him to have access for people in Boulder, for the people in Boulder that had those plumbing jobs. And why don't they have access to my cousin, who's an amazing person and could do the job done for him? So I started looking at the problems in the service industry, and these are apparent in all these different services. You know, as customers, we first off, if we know somebody, we have to call that person and expect that they're going to pick up their phone. If we don't know somebody, then it's even more of a problem. You know, we have to go online, we have to go through the phone book, maybe if we still do that, go through old business cards that we have, you know, and check and really try to find someone that's going to be a good fit for us, compare bids. But on the other side, the pros have a similar problem. It's still trying to find these customers to come to us. So you have to go through marketing. You have to follow up on people that are contacting you online. You have to compete with other job bids. You have to do through online chats. You have to check your calendar. And it's literally just a nightmare for both parties to try to connect with each other. With that being said, about 90% of all these service transactions are still being done offline. You know, people don't want to go online and deal with the mess. They want to just call that person, see when they're available, and try to make that connection as easy as possible. There's a really high demand of people, especially now with everybody being at home, using and breaking things more often in their homes. And the problem is the service professional is the one being charged. There's a high demand, and the service professional, the one that you know, is providing all these services for these customers, is the one that's being charged to make these connections.
Ian, can I pause for just a minute? I don't think that we're seeing your slides.
Uh-oh.
If you're running through them, we're not seeing anything. Oh, we see an iCloud screen.
I'm sorry about that. Can you?
No worries. I'm sorry.
I thought it was part of a demo.
Sorry about that. I am.
It looks like, yeah, you're sharing like the wrong screen or wrong
Okay, I'm gonna stop
tab or something.
It is giving me I'm so sorry about that. Let me see. Why is it? Okay. Is that better?
Beautiful.
I'm sorry. So let me
No
go
worries.
through my slides. These are very, you know, I've got designers that have helped me with these slides. So here's my ask again for anybody that forgot those asks. Here's Jake, my digital cousin. And then here's the problems I was trying to compare. Again, there's a big gap between trying to connect these two parties. So we'll go from here. But again, there's so many issues with trying to connect people online for customers and service professionals. Thank you for calling that out, Lisa. I really appreciate it. So our solution is to switch the business model, but to have these parties directly connect with each other, one service professional with one customer. With OneBook, our homeowners will gain access to these pros' direct booking link. And to do so, they pay the booking fee that the service professional sets. And by paying this booking fee, they get access to their immediate scheduling availability. On the service professional side, there's no upfront fees. They set up their service pro profile. They set up their prices and really just allow this customer to see their transparent description of what they offer as a service pro. Once they get booked, we're going to take 20% of that booking fee that they set for themselves. We don't take anything after that. We don't take any of the service costs. We want them to do their job. And so really we're just trying to be, again, that middleman that there should be online. So here's our pros product. To get started, a pro can start in two simple steps. They could set their calendar availability and they set their booking fee, and they could get off running. They could share their booking link with all of their previous customers, their neighbors, anyone that they run into. They can share their booking link via text, really anywhere they want to, just for people to pay their booking fee to access to their calendar. Down the road, our product is going to be a consumer marketplace where customers can go online, see all local pros in their area for the service that they're looking for, compare one-to-one professionals based on those ratings and reviews, their experience, all of the prices that they charge for their services. And to be on this consumer marketplace, our pros have to go through a business verification and a background check to be verified. Our business model is, again, to take that 20% of each booking fee, very simple, very straightforward. And the service professional knows each time that we're going to be taking money from what they're making. Now in the market, you know, on the consumer side, there's about 2 billion households in the world. We have almost 132 million in the US and over 1 million here just in Denver Metro alone. Albuquerque, I'm not sure. I should have looked up those numbers, but again, there's so much opportunity for customers to connect with their service pros. Again, especially in 2020, we have people are using services more and more often to keep their homes safe and make their lives happier, just trying to get the things done so they can focus on everything else that they're doing. Our go-to market for OneBook is to start with all those OnePro services. We want to start with all those repair and cleaning services such as plumbing, electric, HVAC, pest control, appliance repair, and there's a lot of niche repair and cleaning services out there. Again, pet grooming, there's shoe repair, there's sewing, you know, there's all kinds of individual services that people offer that they have businesses for. We're going to do this by going through channels such as Nextdoor, such as Facebook word of mouth groups. Craigslist is a big one. And our biggest one is going to be referrals. We want to empower that word of mouth process, allow these people to connect one-on-one. And the next time you need that service, you could go to their booking link and book them directly when they're next available. As far as traction goes, you know, OneBook, we launched our beta site back in March of 2020 last year, where we had about 4 pros just playing around with it, doing some transactions. And then our best friend COVID hit. That's when I decided to pull back on the reins with my development company. Wanted to build an in-house team and an in-house product so we can have full control of everything. Started doing hires, started the Founder Institute program, which was a pre-seed accelerator back in October. I graduated from that in March. Excuse me. And then we're planning on launching our new product here in June. So we're literally on the brink of releasing that booking link for pros to get started. And we have about 20 people on the waiting list ready to use this booking link for their customers. As far as competition goes, you know, I'm sure you've heard of some of these big names. Home Advisor, Angie's List, which is now a sister company. They're under the same conglomerate. And then we have Thumbtack. And really, these are lead generation companies. And I go back to the service pros. They are paying for all of these leads for any customer that reaches out to them. So if you post a job request, they get charged. If you contact them, they get charged. And it doesn't even have to be even close to being a real job. It's really just the communication, connecting these two people to communicate. These pros are being charged, and the leads, the lead costs depend on the area that they're at and the project that they're working on. So very untransparent on how much you're being charged as a service pro. But it doesn't even allow you to, you know, really just see when they're available, see. It's just a hard connection between these two parties. Then you have your gig economy apps, which go to more of a granular level with the service pros. But again, these are people that are just looking to make an extra buck. I've been on this myself as a handyman, where I didn't have to have any credentials. I could get started just by going through a background check, and I'm off and running, trying to help people with their plumbing problems. And this is an easy way for small tasks, you know, for organizing and cleaning up and doing those little task things, but not for the professional services that we need. At OneBook, we truly are a pro booking marketplace. You get to see all of the different prices, all of the different ratings and reviews, and get to choose the person that you want to work with, that you want to come into your home, come into the safety of your home and provide that service that you need. Here's a quick look at my team. Again, these are the managers. We have about 20 members right now that are working hard to get this thing built and get this thing up and running into the market. We've got a very diverse group from all over the world, all diverse skill sets, and I'm very grateful to have everybody joining me in this cause, especially without even being on the market yet. So they've been wonderful to work with, and we've done a great job as communicating from all different areas in the globe. So again, I want to ask you guys after this presentation, would this benefit you and your favorite service experts? The relationships that you have with any plumbers, electricians, any people that come into your home to provide a professional service. What services do you guys have difficulty time finding help with? Do you have problem finding people offline, online? Do you have problems scheduling with them? Do you have problems with their quality? any of that sort would, let me know what your problems are. And then what problems do you see my business facing as I get into this market, as we get going, working with pros and customers at the same time. So thank you guys very much for listening. Again, if you want me to go back to any of these slides, please let me know. Here's all my contact information. I really appreciate your guys' time. Again, our goal is just to make local communities stronger by the services that we provide. Let's all continue to have a great day and make it better with OneBook. Thank you very much. There we go.
Looks like we've got some questions in the chat. Miriam, you have a question and some insight. Want to share it?
Yeah. Hey, Ian, I'm really actually quite interested in this. And something you just said made me realize why I'm more interested in this is not to list myself. I'm a professional organizer and business coach. But that you have the ability to really differentiate between quick services and things that can be approached by someone very specific in a thing that comes in just for kind of emergency situations or one-off projects versus someone like a professional organizer or interior designer that works with a client over a longer period of time, which is something that's not easy to distinguish on Angie's List or Thumbtack or Home Advisor. I'm on all three and all three suck. And part of it is I love the fact that you're taking the fee from the person seeking the service because it's their convenience, not the business owner's convenience. And yeah, I mean, some of those leads are $28 and then they never call you back. So this seems like a more transparent thing, but I think your sweet spot is going to be really identifying and focusing on those one-off things that people don't do very often. And the person they might have used last time is no longer in business or no longer around. And then it gives them another place. So I think, plumbing, electric, handyman, cleaning, all great opportunities for that. But what, have you noticed that at all, or had you encountered that issue in your research?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing between Home Advisor or all those companies and us is you're comparing, individual pros to the businesses themselves. You're seeing the ratings and reviews of the business, but who knows who they're going to send? They could send their most experienced person. They can send the person that just joined a couple weeks ago, right? So, yeah. So really, we're breaking it down to the individual person that you want to come into your home. And that even comes back to my cousin when he was a plumber. It was hard enough for me to hire him when I knew he would come to my house at the drop of a dime. And I would have to call that business, see when they can send him out. And when I knew if I just called him, he would come out right away. So it's really want to go back to, it's almost back to the old market times where we used to know the person who we wanted. We would schedule a time with them and then they come and provide the service. So we want to go back to building and strengthening those professional relationships between the individual customer and the individual pro.
Yeah, and I think it also builds in an opportunity, especially with your word of mouth marketing strategy, that you could have people like professional organizers and interior designers recommend certain people that they work with, as well as, extra endorsed somehow people on the list, so that it's not just another homeowner, but another professional that is recommending people because they've worked with them. I don't know, it might add a layer of interest that way as well.
That's a great point. And yeah, we definitely, we do have a referral program. We don't have any incentives at the moment. We plan to have incentives down the road, but you're exactly right. We have, once you have a plumber and you have an electric problem, usually you ask the plumber who they know as an electrician, right?
Right.
But we still don't, we still have that insecurity of not knowing who that person is. So by sending them their OneBook link, they get to go in and really see the details of that individual themselves and see if they want to hire them and go with them in the long run. So
exactly. I like it. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Miriam.
Debbie, you had a comment and shared a link. Do you want to tell Ian about it?
Oh, Ian, it was just something I saw today in the news. And then you had the thumbtack on there, but you can see they have home stuff, but they also added other things, like they said, like piano lessons and things. So it sounds very applicable to what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing,
Thumbtack is
Debbie.
definitely our biggest competitor in the U.S. You know, they go down to those individual piano teachers, which we definitely want to get involved with down the road. But again, it goes back to, you know, these piano teachers are paying for leads that may not even exist. You know, may not even try to go with them. It might just be someone that's searching around, playing around on the internet. So with that business model, you know, it doesn't hold the customer accountable to the services that they're looking for, but they've, you know, they have done a pretty decent job at connecting these professionals with service customers. But yeah, I just noticed that they got a big investment too. So always looking forward to compete with them. So.
Alan, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, I correct me if I'm wrong. I understand there's a booking fee, and then there's the service fee, the fee for the actual service that's going to be provided. And did I understand you correctly that the contractor sets the booking fee?
Yes, sir. So they set the booking fee, and this would be anything from like a drive out fee. So it's really just bringing that drive out fee sooner in the process and allowing that service professional to set the value of their time for being booked into their schedule.
But the service fee is separate from that. So if I were to use the service, I would pay the booking fee irrespective of any work being done. And then if you did the work, then I would pay the service fee.
Yeah, that will be the case for some people. Again, some people take that booking fee off the end charge of the service, right? So if you pay that booking fee for them to come out, they'll take that off the end service fee. And that's usually how those businesses work. Some might just charge a $5 booking fee and then charge you the service fee after that. But there's a lot of situations. That's why they have those drive out fees, is where, you know, the customer calls you over and you don't do any work. You know, you can't decide on doing the end service. And so that's like the, what is it called? The deposit kind of deal. But yeah, we want to make that apparent as much as possible for those services that want to take off the booking fee from the end service fee. You'll get to know that as a consumer.
So my concern is that your booking fee, and you have no control over what that fee is. So you said somebody could set the booking fee at $5 or $1. So if they set it at $1, all you make is 20 cents. That is a little, that I have a problem with that model. Because you don't get to determine your revenue.
Well, that's true, sir. And we do set a minimum at $5. So the $5 is as low as you can go as a service pro. But again, we just want to make as many transactions as possible and allow these customers to connect with their service pros. So that's the beauty of the marketplace, right? Is the customer can pick which person they want to go on based on that booking fee. So if I want to go with the cheaper option, the $5 option, and get them out, then I can do so. If I know that I want to go with a more premium pro and pay that $50 booking fee, then I would do that. So, you know, that's the true marketplace benefit, is you have the control as a customer to really pick which one you want based on the information they have and then their prices that they share.
So just my final question, have you done a projection based on people selecting a lower booking fee, and how does that affect your operation?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a bunch of different models on our financial projections. We usually start with an average around $20, $25 at that booking fee. But we know it's going to be the case. You know, people are going to go as low as $5. People are going to go up all the way to $100 sometimes, right? So We like to set that average at 25, but yeah, we have a bunch of different models for those projections.
Well,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Good luck
Thank
to
you,
you.
Alan. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Alan. John Bell, you want to ask your question?
Sure, Ian. Thank you so much for your presentation. I guess I just want, this might be a stupid question because I might just be a clarifying one, but it seems like you're planning on building a marketplace, meaning customers plus pros, not just a B2B booking function for pros. So if that's the case, if I've got that right, how are you going to create a consumer brand of critical mass, right? Such that, consumers know to reach out to your service versus the others that they're, being promoted out there in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're starting with the booking tool. We want to start with the supply side and really get people to start using the booking link for their pros. And then as we get pros verified, as they go through the process of filling out their profile and getting the background check, getting their business verification, then we'll start releasing the platform for people to start finding them. So we definitely want to start, with that chicken and the egg problem. We got to start with the pros. And then as we start to build that side, the customers will start to market to as well. And we want to include, again, I think I mentioned the referral program. So as you refer your pros, you'll get incentives to start hiring more services on the platform. So, but that's a wonderful question for sure.
Yeah, I think the thing to think about is if you are going to try to create a consumer brand as well as a B2B brand, is just to anticipate the effort needed to do that. So you look at the Angie's List in 2016, they had $300 million worth of revenue and $65 million worth of marketing expense. And, we can all argue as to whether Angie's is hugely successful or not. I wonder if there isn't because you're solving a couple of problems, probably more than a couple of problems, but you're certainly solving the problem of finding the pro, but you're solving the problem of scheduling the pro too, which as a homeowner, I can totally respect, right? So finding a recommended electrician is one thing, getting on his or her schedule and, in a timely fashion is a whole nother thing completely. And I wonder if, if there's not significant strength to your business on just the B2B side, aka the Calendly of scheduling pros, no matter where the lead comes from. So someone may have found them via Nextdoor, they may have found them via Angie's List or via word of mouth recommendation from down the street, yet they get booked through your system. Something to think about. I don't know. Is that something that's crossed your mind or?
Yeah, absolutely. We want them to share that booking link wherever they get their leads, right? Whether it be just from the phone, from Home Advisor, from our potential competitors, or really anywhere on the internet from social media. So we definitely want them, as a customer, to have that booking link the next time that they need that service pro, and to have that relationship put in place so that they don't have to feel the need to even call the person. It'll be as convenient as going to the OneBook link and finding when they're available and paying that booking fee. So absolutely, you're exactly right. A lot of these places, again, it's a lead generation tool, but they don't have the capability of, finding out when they're next available. But Calendly is exactly what we're shooting for. So I'm glad you noticed that.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Paul Sauter, you have a question?
Yeah, so my experience with service professionals lately is twice a year we have plumbers come out to our house, and they either turn on the swamp coolers and shut down the heaters or do the reverse operation. But when you call, it's 3 weeks in advance to get an appointment. So the question I have is, what do you say to that plumbing company? It's like, I can get you more business. It's like, we have as much business as we can handle. What do you do to break in to a service provider that is booked solid out for 3 weeks around swamp cooler time?
Yeah, and that's where that booking fee business model comes into play, right? They get to set what they want their customers to pay for, what their value of time is. If they're booked out, in order to get into their schedule, especially that immediate availability, you have to pay that booking fee that they set. So we want to help their scheduling. We know that they're busy. We know that they have, especially during these seasonal operations, that they can't even, they don't have time to answer the phone, right? So by, sharing them with the OneBook link, that takes all these calls coming from you. You get to focus on your work, and you get to allow those customers to book into your schedule by themselves while giving you the value that you're worth. So, so we hope to help all those opportunities, especially, with the 3-week thing. Maybe something pops up where my schedule, someone cancels on me, and the next customer that goes to OneBook will have an opportunity to get into that slot that may have been dropped out. So, so that's where we want to jump in, and especially with the companies that have, multiple employees, their employees get access to the customers that want them, right? We, as a business, you don't have to delegate that all. You just get to say, go to John's OneBook link, and you can see his availability there and pay to get into his schedule directly. So.
Awesome. Kenneth?
Okay, I'm on. I think I wanted to, at what point have you built up enough customers to go, or our services, to really release the product out to acquire customers? And how do you plan to acquire these customers? And have you come up with an idea, or do you know how much it's going to cost you to acquire the customers to match? I'm going to mute from here.
Well, thank you for that question. And yeah, that customer acquisition cost isn't something that we've been able to drill down completely yet, since we haven't launched. But, as a pro gets verified on our platform, they'll be able to be shown immediately. And we want to give them the opportunity to share their link, their professional community link, with all social media accounts. And we're going to do so as well. So we're going to share, once our OneBook's customer site is available, we're going to go to that zip code, and we're going to share your pro page for you, right? So we're going to do everything, all the digital marketing strategies that are out there, and pick the best one. But again, we want to go through those word of mouth tools like the Next Doors of the world, like Facebook, and share the pros that we have. So absolutely, once the pros come onto our platform, go through our verification process, you're going to be our service hero, and we're going to share you just as much as the next person. So, so again, that customer acquisition cost is something that we haven't been able to nail down completely. We have some ideas based on Angie's List and Home Advisor, but again, we have a completely different target market. They're working on the big businesses. We're working on the independent contractors, employees of each company. So, so we just want to, at that point, just have a share. It's the sharing economy at its finest. We want you to, share your expertise, your professionalism, your quality of work. And as you build that into the OneBook system, we're going to share that with you as well.
Why don't we take Annie's question? That'll be our final question. I know there's more questions in the queue, but let's let Ian answer those in his breakout room, because we have a couple other things to get to. So Annie, ask your question, please.
Yeah, Ian, my question is, how is this different from Fiverr, Upworks, or Freelancer?
Yeah, great question, and something we definitely model after. They're all online services, so all digital services. I'm actually a digital provider myself, and that's what I've been doing most of my professional career. But these are all offline services, so everything from people coming into your home to provide like those plumbing, electric services, anywhere from pet grooming, and you won't find those on the Fiverrs, Upworks of the world. And so, definitely another sharing economy, which we definitely love to see and love to follow, but completely opposite side of the industry. It's all offline services, personal and household services coming to you in real life. So.
Okay, so let me give you an example, personal experience here. So my garage door tension spring broke, and it needed fixing, converting, and upgrading. How do I get to you first? Because I'm gonna go straight to a garage door company and get scheduling and get a quote. So I did a 2 comparison and I went with the second one. How do I know I'm getting the best deal? That's kind of the thing I'm faced with.
Yeah, our goal, once we have that marketplace put in place, we have enough garage professionals on the platform, you'll be able to see the cost that they offer as a company. And then you'll get to see that booking fee. You'll get to see all the transparent details that you can make as a customer, and really compare the two. So that's exactly what we want to do. And we're going down to the actual person that's going to come out and provide the service, not just the business, right? You're not calling the business to see and listen to what they offer, right? All these companies have different sales tactics on how to get the customer. But with OneBook, once we have them on our platform, you'll get to see and compare the actual people that are providing those services. So once you, again, our goal is once you do find the company, especially now, if you're hiring a service pro today, hopefully you're sharing with them this OneBooking link. So the next time that you need them, especially if you have a good experience with them, you can schedule them even easier the next time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Annie. I appreciate it.
Ian, hopefully you'll be available to stay in our breakout room when we break up here in a minute. You can finish answering all the questions in the chat window because there's quite a few. We do have 2 final questions for you. First thing, in Albuquerque, we ask red or green. And if you don't know what that means,
I would have to say red. I'm from Pueblo, Colorado. We do have, we're famous for our green chilies, but I love a good mole and a good red chili. So I would have to say red.
Awesome. And what's the one thing this community can do for you?
Yeah, as we get launched, definitely share with the pros that you guys have and let me know, stay in touch with me. I would love to connect with everybody offline. But again, just want to help everybody in your community start sharing with the Albuquerque pros, and hopefully, you'll have the opportunity to schedule them even easier the next time you need them. So thank you guys so much for having me. It's been a pleasure coming from Colorado. I've been to Albuquerque and Santa Fe, I think once in my life. So awesome to see the people up there.
We appreciate you presenting today, Ian. Thank you. So go ahead and quit sharing your screen. Eric, do we have events today to review?
We may have an event or two, which I'll put in the chat, but I'll do some other stuff. So yeah, I don't want to say that it's heating up. I want to say that it's cooling down, but we will see. Just a second here. So first of all, something I didn't mention last week, but I want to get on people's radar. So New Mexico Angels, they've been doing a lot more different events and activities. One thing they've got later on today at 4 p.m. is they've got a session with AdWallet. So if you're looking to get a little bit of an update, and with AdWallet, and AdWallet's one of I think a favorite stories. So it's good to get that kind of update. Tomorrow is Taza. That's the bilingual session that happens Thursday mornings from 9 to 10 online. We've got, I'm not sure if I saw Adam in the room, but his Friday flow session from 9 to 10 this Friday is on commitment, passion, and uncertainty, which I think we all know a little bit about. I've been helping the city and New Mexico Foundation for Open Government run a thing called Data Fest. So we had a handful of folks show up. I think we've got an app or two created. I'm working on a scavenger hunt, but basically we're looking for ways where we can encourage people to experience and learn more about public art. And that's actually going really well. If you want to get involved, it's free online and also over at the convention center. Let's see, on the next batch, there's a big event coming up next Thursday from the city of Albuquerque. So I'll put that in just a sec. So they're Thrive 21. If you want an update from the city of Albuquerque about all the different things that are going on, programs, incentives, ways that they're helping business and planning to help, in the future through the rest of the year. It's a big event this Friday. Next Thursday. Over at the convention center. So I definitely check out the Thrive 21 session. if you're in the digital media interactive space, we are a handful of folks from Albuquerque are meeting up with a handful of folks from Santa Fe to talk about XR, AR, and all those other R-related things. So different kinds of reality, different kinds of interactive material, a little bit of a happy hour in conjunction with the current New Media Fest that's happening up there. And the last thing, actually 2 more things I'll mention. There's a sort of a preliminary workshop that's taking place related to Startup Weekend. And it's really about starting up your business, probably focused a little bit more on Main Street business. That's happening on Saturday, the 25th. And then to kick off July, we've got Kick-Ass Entrepreneurs in Santa Fe, and they've been meeting live. I think this is probably the 2nd or 3rd one in person. So that's happening on July 1st. And that's all I've got for now. Looking forward to seeing people at different events around town.
Did I take all of this?
Thanks, Eric. Sorry, guys. So let's see. I see a couple new faces. Sarah, are you new to 1 Million Cups Albuquerque?
Yes, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I've just decided to attend a few 1 Million Cups events on Zoom. So thank you.
Awesome. Welcome. We're happy to have you. Are you an entrepreneur?
No, I'm going to be working with a startup, so that's my goal, but also want to stay connected to the entrepreneurship and innovation ecosystems around the country. So that's something I wanted to continue doing. I took a gap year in Boston, and I worked with a lot of projects related to that.
Fantastic. Welcome. Fergus Whitney, I don't think I recognize your name. Would you like to turn on your camera and introduce yourself? Maybe she stepped away to get some coffee. All right, guys.
It won't be the full introduction. I know Fergus a little bit. So he was until recently running the Agri-Nature Center in Los Ranchos de Albuquerque. And he has been starting up his new venture kind of in and around the food and agriculture space. Really excited to have a chance to talk with him a little bit more. So welcome, Fergus.
Sounds like a future presenter to me, Eric. Right?
Yeah, I know. Well, we're talking pretty soon. We'll see if we can get him on the books for 1 Million Cups.
And I think Matthew Gretton's online. I know he's presenting next week, so we all look forward to his presentation. All right, guys, I'm going to